Here we are, casually parading the streets of Shadenhall with the Grandmaster of the Blades and none other than the Emperor, wearing the Amulet of Kings. Yeah, nobody really cares in Shadenhall, though. I don't know if people even know just who the fuck Martin Septim even is right now. He's just some random bloat in some fancy clothes. People know me. Nobody knows him. We're gonna go read a couple books today, and then in the next video, it's just funny to me that they'll actually follow you all this way. And then in the next video, we're gonna light the dragon fires at the Temple of the One. And I wish I had some books that actually related to, the story that we're going. Have a seat, Martin. Martin, have a seat, my guy. I wish I had some books that I knew actually related to the main storyline. But I kind of don't, so we're just going to read whatever we can read. Provinces of Tamriel, why not? Yeah, sure. The Provinces of Tamriel. The Empire of Tamriel encompasses the 9 imperial provinces: Skyrim, High Rock, Hammerfell, Somerset Isle, Valenwood, Elsewhere, Blackmarsh, Morrowind, and the ancient imperial province itself, Cyrodiil. Morrowind was among the last of the provinces to be integrated into the Empire, and because it was added by treaty, not by conquest, Morrowind retains exceptional power to define local law by reference to ancient Great House precedences. Skyrim, also known as the Old Kingdom or the Fatherland, was the first region of Tamriel settled by humans from the continent of Atmora, the hardy, brave, warlike Nords whose descendants still occupy this rugged land. Though more restrained and civilized than their barbarian ancestors, the Nords of the pure blood still excel in the manly virtues of red war and bold exploration. Hammerfell is primarily an urban and maritime. I always don't know how to pronounce that word. Maritime? Maritime? I think maritime. It's a weird word to me. In Maritime Province, with most of its population confined to the great cities of Sentinel and Strassmakai, and to other small ports among the islands and along the coast. The interior is sparsely populated with small poor farms and beast herds. The Redguard love of travel adventure in the high seas has dispersed them as sailors, mercenaries, and adventurers in ports of call throughout the Empire. High Rock encompasses the many lands and clans of Greater Brittany, the Delis Isles, the Bjasach River tribes, and, by tradition, the Western Reach. The rugged highland strongholds and isolated valley settlements have encouraged the fierce independence of the various local Breton clans, and this contentious tribal nature has never been completely integrated into a provincial or imperial identity. Nonetheless, their language, bardic traditions, and heroic legends are a unifying common legacy. The Somerset Isle is a green and pleasant land of fertile farmlands, woodland parks, and ancient towers and manors. Most settlements are small and isolated, and dominated by ruling seats of the local wizard or warlord. The Isle has few good natural ports, and the natives are unwelcoming to foreigners, so the ancient, chivalric, high culture of the Aldmer is little affected by modern imperial mercantilism. I really want to. I don't think the next game is going to be in Somerset Isle. Highly unlikely that would be the case. But I really want one of the upcoming games for that to be the case. Probably not going to happen. Valenwood is a largely uninhabited forest wilderness. The coasts of Valenwood are dominated by mangrove swamps and tropical rainforests, while heavy rainfalls nurture the temperate inland rainforests. The Bosmer live in timber clan houses at sites scattered along the coast and through the interior, connected only by undeveloped foot trails. The few imperial roads traverse vast dense woodlands, studded with tiny, widely separated settlements, and carry little trade or traffic of any kind. They evenly space these all out, one per page, and then you get to Valenwood and just had to take a slightly more. The Khajiit of the southern Elsewhere jungles and river basins are settled city dwellers with ancient mercantile traditions and a stable agrarian aristocracy based on sugarcane and saltrees plantations. The nomadic tribal Khajiit of the dry northern wastes and grasslands are, by contrast, aggressive and territorial tribal raiders, periodically united under tribal warlords. While the settled south has been quick to adopt imperial ways, the northern nomadic tribes cling to their warlike barbarian traditions. Most of the native Argonian population of Black Marsh is confined to the great inland waterways and impenetrable swamps of the southern interior. There are few roads here, and most travel is by boat. The coasts and the northwestern upland forests are largely uninhabited. For ages, the Dunmer have raided Black Marsh for slaves, though the Empire has made this illegal. The practice persists, and Dunmer and Argonians have a long-standing and bitter hatred for one another. That does actually make sense for why... Where was it that I was fighting a Dunmer and I think one of the Mythic Dawn people in there was a Dunmer, and he was cracking some racist Argonian jokes at me, telling me I'd make a fine pair of boots. Morrowind, homeland of the Dunmer peoples, is the northeastmost province of the Tamrielic Empire. Most of the population is gathered in the high uplands and fertile river valleys of central Morrowind, especially around the inland sea. The island Vardenfell is encircled by the inner sea, and is dominated by the titanic volcano Red Mountain and its associated ash wastelands. Most of the island's population is confined to the relatively hospitable west and southwest coast. Cyrodiil is the cradle of human imperial high culture on Tamriel. It is the largest region of the continent, and most is endless jungle. That is not true? I wouldn't describe a little bit of Cyrodiil is jungle. That's like near Blackmarsh. I think that's what it was originally supposed to be, and then as the Imperial took over, it kind of became what it is now. Kind of like a weird story there. I feel like there was something involving that, and then I don't know, because I remember people being upset that Cyrodiil in the Elder Scrolls Online looks like it does in this game when it was centuries earlier, and it was supposed to be all forest. I don't really remember, to be honest, but whatever. The densely populated Central Valley is surrounded by wild rainforests drained by great rivers into the swamps of Argonia and Topol Bay. The land rises gradually to the west and sharply to the north. Between its western coast and its Central Valley are deciduous forests and mangrove swamps. Just teaching Martin Septim, some of the background on the land he's set to rule. You hear this, Martin? These are all the people that you're going to be in charge of one day. Yeah. Provinces. Response to Barrow's speech. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. Holy fuck, look at that book. Goddamn, that's crazy. The Art of War Magic. Why not? The Art of War Magic by Zurin Arctis, with commentary by other learned masters. Chapter 3. I don't know what happened to the first couple chapters, but whatever. Chapter 3. Dispositions. Master Arctis said, "The moment to prepare your offense is the moment the enemy becomes vulnerable to attack." Leros Shael. Knowledge of the enemy mage's mind is of the foremost importance. Once you know his mind, you will know his weaknesses. Said Mar. Master Arctis advised Tiber Septim, before the Battle of 5 Bridges, not to commit his reserves until the enemy was victorious. Tiber Septim said, "If the enemy is already victorious, what use committing the reserve?" To which Master Arctis replied, "Only in victory will the enemy be vulnerable to defeat." Tiber Septim went on to rout an enemy army twice the size of his. The enemy's vulnerability may be his strongest point. Your weakness may enable you to strike the decisive blow. Mirandro Ur. In the wars between the Nords and the Chimer, the Nord shamans invariably used their mastery of the winds to call down storms before battle to confuse and dismay the Chimer warriors. One day, a clever Chimer sorcerer conjured up an ice demon and commanded him to hide in the rocks, near the rear of the Chimer army. When the Nords called down the storms as usual, the Chimer warriors began to waver, but the ice demon rose up as the storm struck, and the Chimer turned in fear from what they believed was a Nord demon and charged into the enemy line, less afraid of the storm than of the demon. The Nords, expecting the Chimer to flee as usual, were caught off guard when the Chimer attacked out of the midst of the storm. The Chimer were victorious that day. The third. When planning a campaign, take account of both the arcane and the mundane. The skillful battle mage ensures that they are in balance. A weight lifted by one hand is heavier than 2 weights lifted by both hands. Right. 4. When the arcane and mundane are in balance, the army will move effortlessly, like a swinging door on well-oiled hinges. When they are out of balance, the army will be like a 3-legged dog, with one leg always dragging in the dust. 5. Thus, when the army strikes a blow, it will be like a thunderclap out of a cloudless sky. The best victories are those unforeseen by the enemy, but obvious to everyone afterwards. 6. The skillful battle mage ensures that the enemy is already defeated before the battle begins. A close-fought battle is to be avoided. The fortunes of war may turn aside the most powerful sorcery, and courage may undo the best laid plans. Instead, win your victory ahead of time. When the enemy knows he is defeated before the battle begins, you may not need to fight. 7. Victory in battle is only the least kind of victory. Victory without battle is the acme of skill. 8. Conserving your power is another key to victory. Putting forth your strength to win a battle is no demonstration of skill. This is what we call tactics, the least form of the art of war magic. Have you heard of this thing called tactics? It's not all about brute force, you know. Goodness, what a schmug guy writing this. Thuliden der Thakun. By tactics, Master Arctus includes all the common battle magics. These are only the first steps in an understanding of war magic. Any hedge mage can burn up his enemies with fire. Destroying the enemy is the last resort of the skillful battle mage. 9. The battle is only a leaf on the tree. If a leaf falls, does the tree die? But when a branch is lopped off, the tree is weakened. When the trunk is girdled, the tree is doomed. 10. If you plan your dispositions well, your victories will seem easy and you will win no acclaim. If you plan your dispositions poorly, your victories will seem difficult and your fame will be widespread. Marandro Sol. Those commonly believed to be the greatest practitioners of war magic are almost always those with the least skill. The true warriors are not known to the multitude. What an interesting philosophy. Let me check these off the list before I forget. The Art of War Magic. And what was the other one we just read? It was Provinces of Tamriel, right? Alright, let us fit in one more book here. The Seed? Yeah, we can do that. Oh, does this guy actually have, is there like a part 1 to this? The Seed, Ancient Tales of the Dwemer? Let me check that. Oh yeah, this is its own thing, but it's an incomplete story. There's parts 1 is The Ransom of Zarek, part 2 is The Seed, part 3 is The Importance of Weir, part 5 is The Song of the Alchemists, part 6 is Shimarvamidium, part 10 is The Dowry, and part 11 is Azura and the Box. So probably not going to read that one. Warp in the West? Fuck, that's a long book, goddamn. The Wild Elves. The Wild Elves. Yep, here we go. The Wild Elves by Kier Shorvak. In the wilds of most every province of Tamriel, descended philosophically, if not directly from the original inhabitants of the land, are the Aliads, commonly called the Wild Elves. While 3 races of elven stock, the Altmer, or High Elves, the Bosmer, or Wood Elves, and the Dunmer, or Dark Elves, have assimilated well into the new cultures of Tamriel, the Iliads and their brethren have remained aloof toward our civilization, preferring to practice the old ways far from the eyes of the world. The Wild Elves speak a variation of Old Cyrodiilic, opting to shun Tamrielic and separating themselves from the mainstream of Tamriel even further than the least urbanized of their elven cousins. In temperament, they are dark-spirited and taciturn, yeah. Though this is from the point of view of outsiders, or Palani, in their tongue, and doubtless they act differently within their own tribes. Indeed, one of the finest sages of the University of Gwilym was a civilized Iliad elf, Terhan Fari, First Era 2790 to the Second Era 227, whose published work on Wild Elves suggests a lively, vibrant culture. Fiery is one of... I suck with names, dude. Fiery is one of the very few Iliads to speak freely on his people and religion, and he himself said, quote, "The nature of the Iliad tribes is multi-hued, their personalities often wildly different from their neighboring tribes." Fiery T, Nature of Iliadic Poesy, P.S., University of Gwilym Press, Second Era, 12. Like any alien culture, wild elves are often feared by the simple people of Tamriel. The Iliads continue to be one of the greatest enigmas of the continent of Tamriel. They seldom appear in the pages of written history in any role, and then only as a strange sight a chronicler stumbles upon before they vanish into the wood. When probable fiction is filtered from common legend, we are left with almost nothing. The mysterious ways of the Iliads have remained shrouded since before the First Era, and many will remain so for thousands of years to come. Okay. I feel like I want to read one more book, but we have actually done a lot. Heavy Armor Repair? Yeah, okay. Have I not read this one? Really? No, apparently I haven't read this one. Heavy Armor Repair. Heavy armor must be designed to take a lot of punishment. It will receive direct blows from all sorts of weapons while protecting the wearer. Such armor tends to be made from a few large pieces rather than lots of small pieces like light armor. Iron and steel are easy to work. Just heat them up and pound them back into shape. You can even use a campfire for field repairs. Avoid filing off any of the metal. Always try to conserve the metal and work it back into shape. If a piece needs a lot of hammering, it may become brittle. Reheating the armor every now and then can reduce the brittleness after severe repairs. Once the hammering is done, be sure to oil it well. The freshly hammered surfaces will rust more quickly and need to be protected. Dwarven and Orcish armor require small and large hammers. Heat should be used sparingly, particularly with Orcish. Both types respond better to many small hammer strokes rather than fewer heavy strokes. Ebony can only be hammered when heated. It will develop small cracks that eventually shatter the material if hammered cold. Daedric should always be worked on at night, ideally under a new or full moon, and never during an eclipse. A red harvest moon is best. Okay, cool. Yeah, nothing really fascinating there, but it's a short little book. We'll just get it out of the way. All right, let's pop those four in there. Nothing all too exciting today, cannot lie. But 4 less books for us to read in the future. 1, 2, 3, and the Wild Elves. Cool. Yippity-doo. Martin, what did you think of our story time? Was this a much worth it stop? I think we're not going to regret this. We definitely didn't just leave any sort of opportunity for Dagon to, enter the realm or anything like that. No, I couldn't see any of that happening. No. We got all the time in the world, Martin. If you want, you know what, Martin, would you follow me into the Shivering Isles? Probably not, but I'm low-key tempted to do it, but I'm not going to do it. At any rate, that is going to do it for this video. So, in the next video, we will be going to light the Dragonfires in the Temple of the One. Of course, we need to meet with Chancellor Okato first in the Imperial Palace. But, till then, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a very good day. Goodbye. Sean
We
Bean,
should
I'm
go
gonna
to
miss
the
you.
Imperial City at
I'm
once.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Lead on.
Follow me.
Lead on, my friend.
Sounds good. Alright, goodbye, guys.
Cause I don't wanna see the glow without you. Refuse to even leave my home without you. Or my brain's gonna explode without you. I don't even know how to cope without you. Cause I don't wanna see the glow without you. Refuse to even leave my home without you. Or my brain's gonna explode without you. I don't even know how to cope without you.